Hey, this is Joseph. I just want to let you know that you're missing out on a lot of my content. In fact, from 2016 onwards, my podcasts have bonus extensions, including hypnosis to accompany the subject I'm talking about on many of them. As well as that, you're missing out on 186 plus hypnosis sessions, where half of those are unavailable online or even on the app because they're in day and night version. Also, you're missing out on my 11-lesson confidence program, my Be Your Potential video course, my Happiness Unleashed program, my Freedom from Anxiety program, my Allergy Freedom program. You're missing out on my nighttime transformation hypnosis sessions. You sleep, you transform. As well as that, you're missing out speaking to me in person. I want to ask you questions. I want you to ask me questions. I want to advise you. I want to be able to support you and even do live hypnosis sessions with you. If that's of value to you, go ahead to www.josephclough.info/mindmastery. So are you ready to be able to understand about limiting beliefs and how to let them go? So the first thing we want to do is really consider what the beliefs are about and how they're actually holding us back. So here's the thing. Many people try to change their environment. Okay, so let me put it really clearly for you. If you blush, or if you have anxiety, or if you have depression, you will try to change your environment. You'll try to escape the thing that you're fearful of, anxious of, going into public speaking situations, you name it. You will try to move yourself out of the environment which is giving you stress. That is the number one thing we usually do. I know I did it when I was younger. I did whatever I could to get out of situations which I did not think I could cope with. The things I felt fear from, stress, worry, doubts, whatever it is, we just instinctively try to move ourselves from that environment. Now, you probably know this. Changing your environment will not change your happiness and will absolutely not give you more freedom. In fact, you're losing your freedom because you're limiting your environment. You're saying, well, I can't go in this situation because I experience these symptoms in that situation. So the first thing we do is try to change our environment, but it never works. It never gives us emotional freedom or to do what we really want. And it does give us a sense of ease at first because you're out of the situation, but I don't want you to just have to keep on moving from one situation to another because of what we're experiencing, or you could say what we're reacting to when it comes to our environment. We should be able to react in a resourceful way. Everything I do is about getting you, your mind, your body in the right state to be able to react in any situation far more comfortably. That is our plan in everything that I do. So, well, one thing we do is we try to change the environment. I always like the quote, it's like trying to comb your hair by combing the mirror. So also it means that you're trying to change the external, or you're trying to change everything there, but really we've got to change something happening in here. That's what we have to do. So the next thing, when we think about that, what dictates what we do in our environment? Well, it's our behaviors. The things that we do in our behavior will have a big effect. So if you start to create empowering behaviors which serve you, and let go of the ones which don't serve you. So if it was anxiety or fear, that's a behavior that we run. It's an emotional one, it's a physical one, it's a reactive one. So our behavior, if we can let go of the negative behaviors, then that's going to be a great thing. So every time we go into our environment, we're using more empowering, powerful behaviors. But the problem is, if we don't have the capabilities, or we don't feel like we've got the capabilities, it will really not serve our behaviors or the environment. Think of it like a pyramid. Right at the bottom is our environment, above that is our behaviors, and then if we don't feel like we got the capabilities, because the capabilities dictate our behaviors and what we do our behaviors will change how we react in our environment. So many people try to change their behavior, try like quitting smoking, they try to mix things up, take on like chewing gum. If you're trying to lose weight, you'll do something like go to the gym, but it's not quite working. Something's not happening because it's not about the behaviors either. It's more about our capabilities. Now, what dictates our capabilities? Well, you know it because I said it on the title of this video, which is our beliefs. Our beliefs will dictate what we think we can or cannot do, i.e. our capabilities. Whether you think you're right or wrong, you are right. And someone can give you all the examples in the world, but if your belief is telling you one thing, you're not going to really thrive in that example or that situation or in that environment, because your beliefs dictate your capabilities. You could be thinking about going for that job interview, but if your belief is not being good enough for that job, or feeling like you're going to be found out. Who's had that one, by the way? When maybe you're in a job right now, or you think about going for a job, but you think you're going to be found out for not being good enough at that job, or people are somehow going to find out that you're a fraud, and you're not going to be able to deal with that situation or deal with the job or deal with the career, because our limiting belief is telling us something. So our belief system is having a big effect on what we believe we can and cannot do. So that has an effect on our behaviors, and that has an effect on our environment. So rather trying to change your environment, rather trying to change your behavior, and rather trying to change your capabilities, we should be focusing on our belief system. When we change our identity or what we identify with within ourselves in a situation, we will change our capabilities. We will be opening up to far more. If you don't believe you're good enough, it will absolutely make you create thoughts and ideas of not being capable, bad behaviors, and performing poorly in the environment. That's not going to cope. That's not going to allow us to thrive. We need to change our belief system. Now, belief systems make up our world. As I said, whether you think you're right or wrong, you are right. Henry Ford said that. And the belief system that we hold will dictate the results that we're getting. If you have a most profound belief about money and abundance, then you will more likely seek out more money in a positive way. But if your belief about money is it's the root to all evil, it's hard to come by, it comes quick and goes faster, those are type of belief systems which are not going to help us be abundant. If you have a belief system about relationships, so all men or all women do X, Y, Z, or once again, you don't believe you're good enough for a relationship, you are not going to succeed very well in relationships, because it's going to have an effect. Your belief has an effect on your capabilities in that relationship, your behavior in that relationship, and the environment which is your relationship. And you can spread this out for everything. Whether it be losing weight, whether it be a fear of phobia, whether it be about confidence, whether it be about public speaking, whether it be, I don't know, you name it, whatever it is, we need to change our belief systems. Our belief systems will guide us to success, or it will actually cripple us and really make us lose focus and see less opportunity. So you may be thinking, well, how do I change that? Well, I want to give you some quick fire ways. Now, these ways will not necessarily completely transform your belief system, because it can take time. But it's worth the investment of time, because you're going to reap the rewards of success in the long term. Excuse me. When you created a belief system, and when I say you, it's like more like your unconscious mind, it's because you've been going through events or people have been telling you something, lots of situations which creates that habit, that idea for it to be true. For example, if you have 10 bad relationships and that 10 past people cheated on you, of course you're going to start to come up with a belief system that all men or all women cheat. If you have a bad track record about money, you're going to have a belief system which is not going to support you about money. It happens all the time, but the day you start to change subtly and consciously, it will filter through to your unconscious mind and it will become a new way of being. I always say this metaphor, you've heard it before if you've listened to my work. It's like an overgrown garden. If you go down the one route, it's going to be really well trodden. It's going to be hard at first to divert into a new route because it's all overgrown. But after a while, you go down that new pathway in that overgrown garden, it will become easier and easier and easier. So you have to begin to train up your mind to success, and this is what we're going to be talking about. So one thing I really like to ask myself is, not a lot of people will actually tell you this, by the way. Lots of coaches, lots of trainers, lots of personal development people, they don't give you this kind of information. I don't know why, because it's very, very true and it's so vital. So what we have to do, one of the first things is, we have to ask ourselves, is this belief actually mine? Strange question. But think about it. Is this belief actually yours? Now, this belief that you may have taken on could be because your parents may have had that belief. If they had a poor track record of money, the chances are you see them in your environment, you see them with their beliefs and behaviors and capabilities and their environment of poor money, you will begin to think that is true. But is it a reality? Absolutely not. Because there are people out there who are very good at money, who are very abundant and just attract it, and we think, wow, they're so lucky. It's not that they're lucky, it's about training up the mind and acting upon it with conviction. So we have to ask ourselves, is the belief that we have about ourselves or about that situation, where it be interviews and all the things I've mentioned, is it actually mine? Is it something that was spoken to me for a period of time and then I took it on? Is it because it was in my awareness most of my life that I took it on? We have to really ask ourselves. Lots of people have weight issues, and those weight issues may not be yours, but it could be generations old. People who try to eat everything on the plate because they are told you must eat everything on your plate, because before then it was harder to have food, it was harder to come by it, even before then, like rationing in the war. It was almost like this belief system kicked in, which was important at that time. Like in the war, rations, it was important to make sure you utilize your food well. But does it mean, and is it applicable for us right now? No, it's not. It may not be true right now. So we have to really think, is this belief our own? Is it our parents? Is it, I'm going to get to a real cool one in a second. Is it our friends? Is it generations old? Is it even hundreds of years old? It could literally be a long time. We see examples around the world of old belief systems not working today. And all we have to do is look at the news, look at people in our life, and sometimes we think, wow, where did they get that belief from? And it could be because it was passed down. Now, there's the other one, as I was about to say, maybe the belief is not our own, but it's absolutely what society wants you to believe. So consider that. What does society want you to believe about the world around you? Think about it. There's marketing everywhere. There's advertising everywhere. There's always different agendas for different things because it's a selling game, it's a selling world, and we are being bombarded with advertisements of everything around us. How we should look, what we should buy, how we should be. All these things is the belief that we have about ourselves, like not being good enough, actually ours, or is it society's belief of what it's created? Now, when we think about that question, is a belief actually ours or someone else's that we've taken on through watching the world around us or experiencing the world around us? the nature of understanding and getting clear on that will begin to shift your perception. And I'll tell you why. Because if you have a limiting belief for a long time, it becomes your identity. It becomes your identity as to why you are like you are and who you are as a person. But when we begin to wake up and ask ourselves the question, is this belief mine or someone else's? It will begin to create that 1-2 degree shift, which will make you think differently. It will cause you to really get conscious of what's happening into the world. When we do that, that belief, although still there, will not hold as much water. It's almost like we're just loosening up that model, that belief of the world around you and of yourself so much that it doesn't hold tight anymore. It's less strong as it was before. So that's the first thing we have to ask ourselves. Is the belief our own or someone else's? Then we have to ask ourselves, was this belief created at a time of our life when we needed that belief? So let me get clear on that. Say, for example, someone has a belief of not being good enough, which I think is very common around the world. We don't believe we're good enough or capable or worthy of something. Now, the belief system like that can happen in our later years, but sometimes it'll be when we're very young. 5 years old, 6 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old. We usually start to get those belief systems at a young age. Now, it's not always true, but it can be true, okay? So if this resonates with you, then this is going to, once again, is going to create another 2-3 degree shift if we add these up, stacking them up in our favor. So if we have that belief system was created when we were young, we have to ask ourselves a question. Based on the resources I had back then, I created that belief system because of that. I did not know it better. I did not have the knowledge and wisdom as an adult, so that's why I may have created that belief system. It kind of makes sense. If you had a fear or phobia as a child because maybe a dog was extra playful, you did not have the knowledge and wisdom as an adult to be able to distinguish between what is right or wrong. Your body just overreacted in that one moment for the best of intentions. So we have to consider, is this belief ours or someone else's? And also, was this belief actually created at an age when we didn't have all the knowledge and wisdom? And the knowledge and wisdom we have now, the nature of watching this video would change things, but having that openness and awareness, once again, will create that another 2-3 degree shift in our thinking and loosen that belief system even more. It will hold less water in that belief system because we're now becoming aware of the truth of the nature of that belief. The belief system may have been created at a young age because that's all we could do with all the knowledge and wisdom and the resources we had at a young age. We didn't have all the things that we needed. So now we can begin to consider that new way of being. We can think, okay, the belief may be someone else's. It was actually created when I was a young age, and that's not true anymore. Then we have to ask ourselves, number 3, we have to look at other beliefs in the world which are contrary to the belief that we have about ourselves or about that environment. When we do that, it will begin to once again create that other shift, the 2-3 degree shift. If you have a belief that about yourself and then you begin to seek out other people who are once like you, who overcame that issue, it will cause you to think there's an opportunity for you to do the same. The more examples or the counter examples to the belief that you have about yourself will cause that belief system you have to be less true. Once again, it might not make the complete shift, but by looking for counter examples which disprove the belief about yourself or about the situation, even just the possibility of overcoming it. Like I said, finding people in your environment or in the world around you who have overcome this, it will allow that belief system to be less. It's causing your brain to rather focus on the limiting belief to actually looking for alternatives of how people have overcome that limiting belief or that capability or that behavior or the environment. So that's the third tip. All these are creating little shifts on the inside. Now, the other one we've got to consider is, what kind of belief do we want? If we don't want the belief system that we presently have, we have to then consciously consider the type of belief that you do want. When we have to do that, when we do that and formulate it, we're telling our unconscious mind, look, we're kind of understanding now that belief could be actually someone else's. We're kind of understanding now that belief may have been created when we were very young. We didn't have all the experience to make the best decision about a belief. And now we're considering other examples which disprove that belief to a certain degree. And now, speaking to you, the unconscious mind, I want you to start running this new belief system. The conscious mind is the goal setter, the conscious mind is the goal setter, the unconscious mind is the goal getter. So when you start to create consciously the type of belief that you want, even if you write it down, whether it becomes a mantra, whether you listen to one of my hypnosis tracks, whether you just hallucinate it in your mind every day, seeing yourself out there in a dissociated way, as if you're watching yourself in a cinema screen, it will cause your unconscious mind to consider that alternative. You're pre-teaching, and that's the key word here, you're pre-teaching, that's a key word, I say it wrong, the pre-teaching your unconscious mind how to be different. Not how you are or how you've always been, but how to be different in the positive. When you begin to hallucinate it in your mind, if you're not great at hallucinating, you feel it, you hallucinate it in feelings or sounds or whatever it may be, you turn up the music, which really drives you forward and makes you feel really good, and then you think about how you would like to be different. When you begin to do that, the neuroassociation changes in your brain. It will begin to adapt and create new pathways for you, which will allow you to get better and better with the new belief system. Like I said, it takes time, but if you do those steps, you're reframing, you're getting new perspectives, you're really loosening up that limiting belief, and then you're starting to direct your mind to the type of belief that you do want. And by hallucinating it, by, like I said, reading, educating yourself, investing your time and money in developing yourself as a person, that should be your number one investment, by the way, yourself, because the best you can be is going to cause others in your life to be happier as well. And you're going to get more better at your job, your career, your finances, your health, your emotional well-being, you name it. When you begin to invest in yourself, whether it be just through time at the very least, you will start to see that change. You're beginning to cultivate your thoughts. You're starting to direct your thoughts, your feelings, and ideas to this new belief system. So, like I said, the beliefs create or dictate your capabilities. Your capabilities dictate your behaviors, and your behaviors dictate your environment. Many people focus on the environment. Change your environment, quit the job, go to a new job, change city, change state, change country. You try to move out of the environment which is giving you stress because you haven't got the right behaviors, and you don't feel like you got the capabilities because the belief that you have about yourself or the situation is creating all of that. What we have to do is change the top tier, the belief system, by the steps I just said, a little bit more, like I said, through hypnosis, all these kind of things, just reading books, educating yourself, whatever it is, watching these every day or listening to these every day. The more you do it, the more you retrain your mind to the truth. What is the truth? That you are worthy, that you are capable, and you are full of potential. You really are. We just have to pre-teach your unconscious mind how to be different. So when you do that, your beliefs will now start a new set of open capabilities, which will give you freedom in more behaviors, the way that you act and react into the lowest tier of your environment. That is a great way of really understanding how beliefs are having an effect on your world and how to let them go. So I hope you enjoy that. We're at the 30-minute mark right now. If you did like this, go ahead and leave me a comment so I know that you're enjoying this. And then I always like to read through them. Usually we get lots, but I really like to know that you're enjoying these and you're getting value, because the more that you tell me you're getting value, the more I just know that I should be doing more of these. And if you want to be super epic, go ahead and just click the share button. And if you want in on my Facebook group, like I said, you're gonna, for the first 300 people who join, over 100 people have joined already, but for the first 300 will get a free hypnosis track, which is unreleased anywhere. People actually posting on the group saying, because it's all about self-belief, positivity, contentment, and peace and relaxation. They listen to it as they go to sleep. A few people commented already that they were out asleep within 5 minutes and they woke up really refreshed and positive. So if you want access to that hypnosis download, so as you go to sleep with this track, just go to, if Sarah's on here right now, my assistant, she'll post a comment. If not, I'll do it after this. But you can also find the link on my last live video. But I will be making sure I put the link on this comment feed. So if everyone can just like that when that happens, then I just know that everyone will be marking it up to the higher so people can actually get in there. It is a moderated group, as in we approve people to be in the group just to stop spammers, because I want to make sure we get a tight-knit group there. And also, by the way, you get the higher quality version of the live videos, because phones only pick up so much. I try to buy a better mic, but it's still not that good. It's not like how I like it. So what I do is actually record all these onto my computer properly here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm recording onto my mic and it goes directly into the computer. And then I sync the audio with this video so you get the high quality. And the last one I did the other day had the hypnosis track, so you'll be able to get that as well. So lots of cool information in the group. Go ahead and search for it, find the link. And one more final thing. Oh, here we go. Sarah has posted the link on the comments. So if everyone can just keep liking that, I'm going to like it so it gets closer to the top. Like it so everyone gets it pushes the comment to the top and it becomes more visible. Okay, that means you'll be able to find it easier. So a bit of like group help here. This means we can get more people into the group. First 300, how many that will be? Is that 300 right now? I think that's about 300. The first 300 will get the hypnosis track for joining. In other words, you get more of me, Facebook algorithms, we bypass those hopefully, and that means you get to see more of my audio and videos, things which you would not usually see on the Facebook page. Still stay tuned to this one. There's where all the live videos are, photos are and everything, but it's going to really help you. So my last final thing is, tonight or tomorrow, Mind Mastery is launching. Absolutely, I've been working for the last 2 months on this, at least, all day today, and it's all about getting access to everything I do and speaking to me online, on the phone, so we actually have a conversation. So rather than me just looking at the comments and then reading them out, I want to speak to you in person. I want to get you on the phone. I want you to ask me a question verbally, hopefully, if you're happy with that. And then I want to be able to coach you to your success. That is what's happening. It's called Mind Mastery. It's happening hopefully tonight. If you listen to my podcast very soon, you might get one tonight. Maybe not a new podcast, but an edited one to get more information. And also, I'll be posting it in the next couple of days or the next week. But those who will be on listening to my apps, my podcast, I'll be doing a little intro there. It's a little sponsor by myself. Say, hey, I don't need to get sponsoring from other companies to be able to keep all my free stuff free. I just sponsor my own stuff out there. So I hope you enjoy that, guys. Have the most wonderful day. Always know that you're worthy, you're capable. Remember to put your mind on your belief, because your belief will change your capabilities, therefore your behaviors, and transform your environment. In other words, how you act and how you react. So have a great day, and I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Leave me a comment so I get to read them, and join the Facebook group. Okay, bye-bye. This episode was brought to you by Mind Mastery, where you get to personally get access to me so I can answer your questions and coach you and do hypnosis with you to get the success that you desire. Not only that, but you get over 186 hypnosis sessions in day and night version, where half of these are unavailable anywhere online or on the app or the podcast. And you also get all my audio courses, the Complete Confidence, the Happiness Unleashed, the Anxiety Freedom, and the Be Your Potential video course, and so much more. If you want to support the show, if you want to be able to transform your life, go ahead and visit josephclough.info/mindmastery.